All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm Coach Brien Shamp here. Just get my mat situated. All right. I want to welcome all of you. You can put the rolls down if you guys are here too. Everybody's ready to go. You ready to foam roll? All right. So just go ahead and put the balls down for a moment. So today we're doing a special class in place of Lori. Lori's away, our normal yoga teacher. We're going to do a breathing and self-massage and a mobility class. So breathing is the first primal need on my coaching program. So I want to start with that, and I want to start with that in different positions. So right now we're all standing. I want you to connect to the ground. And what I mean by connect to the ground is, ideally, guys, even take your socks off. So we got people with their socks on here. We're not going to put our shoes on today. So if you really want to connect to the ground, we actually go outside in grass or maybe the beach. And there is a benefit of grounding. Anybody ever heard of grounding before? You guys live in Half Moon Bay. So grounding is something that I learned in massage school. I learned in acupressure school. I'm a Reiki practitioner. In the holistic space, I always talk about this idea of grounding. And basically, we're always in our head, right? So a lot of us are in our head too much. Tony Robbins says, if you're in your head, you're dead. So he said, he must have said that 1,000 times. If in your head, you're dead. If in your head, you're dead. I know I got a baseball player here. So that's a really important thing, the mental side of the baseball game. But really, it's important in all of life, right? Just we got to get in our heads. And in the holistic space, we talk about getting into our hearts. So let's go ahead and feel that connection to the ground. I want to start there because I do believe everything starts there and bringing that energy down. And again, even with an athlete, that grounding position is kind of like an athletic position. You see, I'm kind of bending my knees a little bit, but let's get a little more specific. All right. So we have 5 toes. I just want you to think about the right side right now. I want you to connect the 5 toes of the right foot to the ground. Like nobody can pull up your toes. Okay. You're locked in. So some of you out there may have a bunion or something like that, or maybe one big toe's on top of the other toe. I want you to spread those. Okay, so really feel that connection. All right, and I like to look at people's feet. So I can see Anthony here. You got flat feet like me, and 70-80% of the population has flat feet. So we really need to be conscious of feeling the little toe in the outer foot, because otherwise the feet go like this. So this is really important again, because whatever you do, it's not going to be good, whether it be yoga or baseball. I want to feel that little toe, that outer foot, especially if I have a flattening, okay? So we get the 5 toes on the right foot. Now think about the ball of the foot right here. 1 and 2. There's 2 bones, okay? 2 bones of the ball of the foot. We hit the gas and the brake. So in the athletic realm, I'll always say to people, hey, lift up your toes beyond the balls of the feet, all right? So feel that connection. So there's 10 points altogether I want you guys to think about. The 5 toes, the ball of the foot, there's 2 bones there. Lock it in, all right? And then, so that's 7. Point 8 is the whole outer foot. Whole outer foot. Notice when I kind of feel my outer foot a little more, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but my knee goes out in the right position now because I have flat feet. Bad knee position, good knee position. So feel that outer foot. That's point 8. Point 9 is the heel. Lock it in, but still feel the big toes and all the other toes. And then number 10 is the arch point. Okay, so now if I try to pick your foot up right now, there's no way I can lift it up. Everybody feel pretty solid? So that's what I mean by connection grounding, or I often will say, find the 10 points, find the 10 points. Let's do the other side. So close your eyes now. I want you to feel the 5 toes on the left foot. Don't let go of the right though. Find the ball of the foot. That's point 6 and 7. Point 8 is the outer foot. Point 9 is the heel. And then feel a root connected from the arch point all the way to the ground. So just close your eyes and feel that connection for a moment. Just go a little bit of a right to left shift. I'm not moving my feet, they're grounded. They are grounded. So in one of the martial arts I took, we did this every single day. It was called Wing Chun. Wing Chun was Bruce Lee's first martial art. And he talks about being grounded all the time when there was multiple attackers trying to come up on you. All right, so but every realm, everything we do. Now, if someone was to push you, open your eyes for a moment. So see, I'm kind of you can bend your knees a little bit too, but the key is the feet. So now just kind of go forward, kind of go back without moving your feet. Notice how far you can kind of go front to back, side to side, but we're moving from the center. Can you all do that for me real quick? So that's what I mean by grounding, by connection. And that, I think, is a great start to doing anything standing. Close your eyes again. Inhale, deep breath in, and exhale. Good. All right, eyes open. Okay, so let's finish up the rest now. So that's what I mean by grounding. Let's connect to the ground. And now let's just find that rest of the good posture, everything above it, okay? So, but the posture is going to be better when you're in a good foot position. And just watch yourself. If you tend to do this, you're going to have a knee replacement at some point, or a hip replacement, or something's going to go wrong with your back. All right, so that's why people make orthotics as well, and that will help, but this is more important. All right, so real tall, lengthened spine. So that head should be right over the belly. That's our posture. That's pretty easy now when we have our feet connected. All right, so now let's go ahead and do one of our breathing movements today. We're going to go one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And I just want you to close your eyes. I'm actually not doing anything right here. I'm just hanging out, connecting to the ground, just like you are. Shoulders relaxed. And I just want you to take let's do a 5-5-5 breathing pattern right now. So we're going to inhale for 5, we're going to hold for 5, and we're going to exhale for 5, all right? So eyes closed, deep breath in, feel the belly rib cage expand for 5, 4, keep inhaling, 3, from the rib cage, 2, 1, hold the breath. I know this is hard. 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, blow out through the mouth. Feel the belly go in. Inhale, deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blow out through the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Really expand it. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blow out through the mouth for 4, 3. Feel that belly draw in. 2, 1, and relax. Keeping your grounded feet. Let's go and let the arms go for a moment. All right. Good job, everybody. So I just want to take you through a few different postures. So we're in a standing posture right now for breathing, because I work with a lot of people personally with nutrition lifestyle coaching. A lot of folks want to lose weight, and that's what I really do. And it's really nothing to do with exercise, actually. Very little to do with exercise. I was telling Lee about that yesterday, right? Very little. So we need to move. We need to sit less. Let's keep swinging the arms, guys. Come on, Drew. Come on. Let it go. So let's do this and just swing for me. Feel that connection to the ground. Remember, nobody can push you over because you're connected. You're grounded. Let's just go right here, right and left. And you just keep breathing. So the key to weight loss, fat loss, overall good emotional state is breathing, number 1. Number 2 is hydration. So we got sleep, number 3, and number 4 is food on my self-care system, the 7 primal needs. All right, let's go right here now. Keeping those feet grounded. So just remember, we have all these little things. So I'm always talking about these things, and breathing is number 1. So everything we do, let's add a breathing component. If I go this way, if I go that way, I want to breathe, inhale, I want to exhale. Let's do this now. Let's just let those feet off the ground a little bit. Let them off the ground a little bit. We're just getting some nice gentle motion with breath. So what I find is that in the standing posture, and just with most people are breathing from the chest. So we're going to try a couple different positions so you can really become aware if you're breathing from the chest or the belly rib cage where we should be, okay? So let's do this. Come on down. Let's go on the floor real quick. On the floor. Come on your stomach. So this is probably one of the easiest ways to retrain your breathing. So 50% of the people that I work with or more breathe from here. Okay, this is called a switched breathing pattern or inverted breathing pattern. This is because of life stress or just not dealing with life stress favorably. Okay, so we tend to breathe from the chest. Okay, we want to breathe from the rib cage. So we're going to use gravity right now. So you can take a look at me for a second, but there's nothing really to look at. As you take a deep breath in, you can take a look at me, it's fine. Inhale, everybody. Feel the belly rib cage push into the ground. You should be very aware if it's not pushing into the ground right now. And now exhale, blow out into your mat. Feel the belly draw in. You should feel your obliques engaging. Those are the sides of your muscles right here, right? Everybody feel that? Like when you blow out, you're feeling your core. That's why this is super important to lose belly fat as well. Breathing. Inhale, deep breath in. Feel the belly push. So you have some feedback now into the ground. Exhale, blow out. Feel the belly drawing. Keep drawing in, making your waist smaller. Again, deep breath in. Belly rib cage expands. Really expand it. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Exhale, blow out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Shrink that waist. We're going to inhale for 4, exhale for 4. 2 more. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, blow out into the mat like you're blowing out through a straw. One more time. Inhale. Belly ribcage expands. Exhale, blow out. 4, 3, 2. Really draw the belly in. Shrink your waist. That's what it's going to be if you keep working on this stuff and engaging your core the right way. All right, let's do it. Next position. So I'm just taking you through a few positions that you could do during the day. Of course, you're not going to do all of these. So we just need to fit in breathing at some point during the day, consciously breathing. You can do it at your desk, but on your stomach or all fours, you're going to feel gravity working. Do you guys feel that? Like the difference? It's like much easier to understand how to breathe the right way. Because like a lot of times when we're standing, or someone tells you in yoga or Pilates, oh, just breathe from the rib cage. Well, you may think you are, but you're really probably breathing from here because that's your pattern. We tend to get in patterns easily. So you could be super calm right now even and do this little breathing thing and then go out and drive. Someone cuts out in front of you on the road, you put your brakes on, you go, and then you're stuck there for years. So it happens that fast, and it lasts that long until you untrain it, okay? So this is, remember, number one, primal need is breathing. So let's go on all fours, hands under the shoulders. So we're going to do 2 things here. Just push into the ground first. Let's get the posture. Put your right hand on your belly. Take a deep breath in for 4, 3. Let the belly fall in this position, kind of like what we just did on the floor. 2, 1. Blow out for 4, like you're blowing out through a straw. Really feel those belly muscles kick in, those obliques right here on the sides. And let's do it again. Deep breath in. Feel the hand. Put the hand on the belly. 3, 2, really let it go. Don't hold back. Let it go. Exhale, blow out. 3, 2, 1. One more time. Third one, best one. Deep breath in. I should be hearing you breathe out through the mouth from here if you're really blowing out through your mouth. 4, exhale. 3, blow out through the mouth. Let that air go. Feel the belly in. Perfect. All right. So actually the focus on breathing I actually really took from Lori, our yoga teacher. So she's really good about incorporating breathing with all of our movements. And we have a bunch of videos on YouTube and in our coaching page as well. So she'll incorporate these as part of yoga, but I'm just kind of going over it in isolation without all the movement part. All right. So next, let's just do cat-cow. So this is kind of a mobility exercise plus the breathing component as well. Now we're actually moving. So take a deep breath in. Let the belly fall. Is your belly falling? Let gravity do its job. Exhale, blow out through the mouth. Draw your belly in, tuck your chin, round your back. Inhale, deep breath in through the nose. So this is a very common yoga exercise or back rehab or loosening exercise. Blow out. One of my favorite stretches. Inhale, deep breath in. Your fingers should be spread right under your shoulders, knees under the hips, knees in line with the hands. Exhale, blow out. Think about a 4-4 count maybe, or a 5-5 count. Inhale for 5, exhale for 5. Or we can go 4 count inhale and an 8 count exhale. So there's no exact way to breathe. We just can play around and give yourself a little variety. Let's do that 4-8 count right now. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. We're going to let everything out for 7, 6, 5. Keep exhaling. 4, 3, 2, 1. Really round the back. Again, deep breath in. through the nose. 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8 counts. 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing, but slower now. 2, 1. Really round. Full ranges of motion. Last one. Inhale. Deep breath in. And exhale. Blow out. 7, 6. Keep blowing out through the mouth. Control the airflow. 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Let's do a child's pose real quick. So sit back, into the heels, reach the arms forwards. And this is another place we can just work on breathing. I'm not going to do that today. We already did the standing position. We did the cat-cow. We did the all fours. So those are some of the things that you can do on your own, anywhere, anytime. I encourage you to consciously breathe right when you wake up, right before every meal, as you're eating, when someone else is talking, as you're falling asleep, if you wake up at 1 to 3 in the morning. Just think about breathing. All right? So that is kind of like an intro to breathing, a long intro, but that's going to now help us with everything else we do. So let's get a foam roll right now. So everybody get a foam roll. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of foam roll you have. Some people have the bigger foam roll. Some people, I like these. So you can get these on Amazon. And the reason why I like these is I can travel with these. So I'm not going to travel with the big, 6-foot one. All right. So you could get both, but I find that I use these more. So let's start off with the most important thing right now. Anybody know what the most important area to roll is? Got a few folks here. I got hamstrings. Kaden, what would be the most important thing to roll? This is my opinion, of course, but back. All right, so guys, think about this for a second. So I started off with the feet because of that connection to the ground. And remember how I showed when my feet are not grounded, what happens to my knees? Everything else went in, right? So think of the body as a chain. And if something is going wrong at the level of the foot, everything else is going to go wrong. All right, so think about, number one would actually be the feet. And I just realized I was actually going to do the calves. But so let's go to the feet. I was actually going to do the calves, but as I talked to myself just there, let's go to the feet. Let's stand up. So we have various objects. All right, so various objects like a golf ball I find works best. Somebody got a golf ball? Yeah, all right, we got a golf ball here. So whatever you got though, it doesn't have to be a golf ball. It could be something around the house. I don't know, what do you got? So, but before you do this, actually we should have did this before we even did our breathing. Put your feet together for me. So when I'm working with teams, and I don't really do this much anymore, but I used to go to like various colleges and high schools, and I would try to, I've been doing this for a long time. And I actually brought, by the way, you know this, but I somewhat brought foam rolling into Major League Baseball. So one of my clients, way back when, his name is Scott, he played for the Texas Rangers at the time. He was working with me, and he was working with me for a long time. We did all this foam rolling stuff, and he was the only one that I'm aware of in Major League Baseball to do this. And he was doing so well that all the other players started doing it. It's just kind of one of those things in baseball. Someone's doing well, and everybody starts doing well. So anyway, I'm nobody knows it, but I'm credited for bringing foam rolling to Major League Baseball. All right, so here's something I do with teams to kind of get them to realize that this is an important piece of their game. Let's do this. Let your head totally fall, and I want you to see how far you can touch to the ground, keeping your legs straight. Can you bring your palms to the ground? I can barely. Just notice how hard that is. Where do you feel the tension? I feel the tension in my left low back. Kaden, how about you? Hamstrings, back of the knees. Anthony, what do you think, bud? Hamstrings. I want you to notice how you feel right now, everybody. Let it go, though. And put your feet together, otherwise the test isn't going to be that good. All right, so I can just barely touch my hands to the ground. I'm pretty flexible there. And now slowly come up so you don't hurt anything. All right. Okay. What do you think, Lee? What do you feel right now? Like tight where? So tight in the hamstrings. Okay. Everybody's kind of, Drew, same thing? Tight in the hamstrings? My left low back hurts too. So again, everything is connected, right? So a lot of it's the feet. So let's find out what happens. Okay. So let's get something. So find something around your house. We're just going to massage your foot, team. And now when you find a tender spot, I want you to hang out there for about 20 seconds. Tender spot, 20 seconds. All right? And now we want to incorporate our breathing. I should have done that flexibility assessment before we did our breathing, because you're probably already looser. It's just a good way to kind of convince people that this stuff's important, because everybody thinks we need to go, right? I mean, I do too. I go. But what we really need to do is slow our lifestyle down. And, you know, that is at some level what most of us have done during the quarantine. It's gotten some of us to chill out a bit. Some people have done more work, but I find that most people don't have to deal with traffic now. They don't have to deal. Traffic was a big stress for me. Even not really for me, because I live right up the street, but I hate traffic. I don't drive that much purposely. You find any spots, Kaden? So this would be a good thing to do in preparation for the yoga sessions, everybody. This would be a good thing to do in preparation for our group fitness training program, our running program, whatever. So we used to do this as part of the CSM warm-up. Actually, I was a strength coach for Santa Clara University tennis, men's tennis. We would start with this. Let's go to the other side now. All right, other side. So find tender spots. Again, if it doesn't hurt, you probably don't need to do this. Probably won't hurt you, but it's just probably not as important. So different balls. Did you get a golf ball? All right, 2 golf ball. Here we go. Golf ball is kind of nice because it just gets in there. I actually have a thing called a foot wheel. I spent 20 bucks on. That's good. I actually like it, but it's not necessary. Golf ball works perfectly well. All right, find those tender spots. Look, my left side hurts a lot more than my right. I don't know if you guys notice that. Not my soreness, but your soreness. So find those tender spots right on the arch point. But do you ever go to like even a reflexologist or, you know, those cheap massages and $20 massage? They're always working on the feet and it hurts. Anybody ever notice that? You guys ever get one of those? No, it's $20 massage. They're actually great. I just don't like them touching on my neck because they don't really have a whole lot of skills in that area. So find those tender spots. Everybody has a different foot now, right? Okay, if you do these things for 3 to 5 days, the same spot you're doing right now that may be sore, and this goes with everything we do, it's going to be less sore. 50% of the pain will go away if you just do it for 3 to 5 days, and that will translate into some kind of joint pain reduction. So if you have back issues or hip problems, just by doing something simple like this, you should see a difference. All right, so now let's do our test. And we're going to keep doing this test because I want to find out what segment is the root cause of the issue, okay? So right now we just did the feet. We're going to go back and do that stretch. Then we're going to do the calves. We're going to come back and do this stretch again. Does that make sense? So, all right, let's do it. Let's come on down. You may not notice anything, but I'm a little bit, I can feel just a little bit looser. It's a little easier to go down, but you got to do it the exact same way, otherwise we don't know. I typically will find the tightest person on a team and use them as an example. It really is apparent when you have a really tight person. And I'll write on their ankles and I'll see how far they can go. Slowly come up. Did you guys notice anything different just for doing that? A little bit? Maybe a little bit? Okay, I got two out of P. How about you guys out there? Anybody notice a difference? Shauna, a little bit? All right, we'll find out what happens next, the next test. Anybody out there, raise your hand if it made a big difference to get your feet. Okay, Mina, a little bit. Some of you not sure yet. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's move on. Calves. Let's take a seat now. That's what I was going to do first. All right. So, again, foam roll is great, but you could use a softball. You could do something, anything. I'm going to use the one with treads because I do this kind of a lot. So this hurts more, basically. All right. So you can use a PVC pipe, though, too. I'm going to move back so you guys can see me. So let's get on the belly of the calf. Let's just put both on for now. Let's just go like this. So people, when I see people foam roll, I see people kind of doing this whole thing here. They lift up. You don't need to do that. So we just want to relax. So let's go ahead and stack your left on top of your right. Right there. And we're just going to work into that area. We're going left to right, right to left. Now, most people, given that I think it's 70% of the population has flat feet, most people have more tightness on the inner part of their calf because their feet are flat. Does that make sense? So all the tension, they're short and tight there. So we're just working into that area, slow, deep breaths. Does that hurt? Perfect. Yes, this is a good time to have a knot, by the way. So, and this is going to be why usually when we work this one area, that we'll see the biggest difference in overall flexibility and mobility. So remember, mobility is like joints. So think of mobility as like if someone says, we're going to work on mobility. We're working on joints, ankle, knee, hip, spinal mobility. The spine needs to bend forward, backwards, rotation, neck mobility, right? And now we have flexibility is like your fascia, your tissues, your connective tissues. So by working these connective tissues, just keep moving it around, by the way. So I'm just moving it around. If it's not sore, let's find a new spot. Don't waste your time. There's plenty of spots that are sore. And the more I drive this top leg into the bottom, the better. So if those of you are still out there, do not have a foam roll, I could use this to get a little more specific. The lacrosse ball is not quite as good. I would like a softball in this one. I mean, it works. So it still works. You could also, actually we'll do that afterwards. Remind me to get in there with the hands. It's probably even better. It just may hurt your thumbs doing it. Let's go to the other side. So again, we can do this all day. I watched an entire, Game of Thrones pretty much doing this at one point. I was watching it on my couch. I put this on my ottoman and I just rolled my calves. Anybody watch TV? Kaden, you see Game of Thrones? Yeah, you're not old enough. It's a great show. How about you, Drew? I know. All right. No TV watchers here. Just a couple, maybe. So you could, my point is you could do this while you're doing anything. If you have any opportunity, just get that foam roll out. You can do it even while you're watching TV. You can get on the ground, or you could throw this on an ottoman like I did. And you can spend that time multitasking. Breathe. So remember, what happens when it hurts? Anybody know? You'll tighten up, but what will you do with your breath? You'll hold your breath, right? You'll actually go here. So this is a perceived stress to your nervous system, to your physiology, if you find a painful spot, and then you'll do what you would do if you stopped on your brakes and the car's in front of you. You go like this. Notice what you're doing, okay? So that's kind of the key to everything, and that's why people have a pattern of breathing from the chest versus the diaphragm. And a lot of it's just being aware of it. So notice what happens when we move around. And let's get all the way up to the back of the knee. I'm working more on that inside of the calf now, on the back of my knee. But how about you? Where do you need to work? So they have these tread foam rolls. These are kind of nice because it's just different experience. Okay, so let's stand it up. All right, again, you don't need to do a whole lot. Okay, feet together, but sometimes you could spend more time and get a better experience. Come on down. Let it fall. Slow, deep breaths. Is it any better? So that one was a lot better. Okay, so we're just going to continue working down the chain. All right, slowly come up, bend your knees. So just a little assessment. All right, this is just a way for you to figure out what you really need to do. Come on down again. I just want to show you one other thing. This is actually probably better. You don't need a foam roll, but again, it could hurt your fingers doing this. But if I'm working on you, I used to do a lot of massage for my clients. So first of all, we can kind of assess the hips right here. I see a lot of tight hips in this room. So the knee should actually come down, by the way. Let's get real tall. So we can kind of just assess your hips now and how much focus we need to put on the hips. We haven't even got to the hips yet. All right, so the knee should actually come down. All right, and now just kind of assess where you are there. And I'm putting a little tension. I'm probably right around here. I can make it go down, but just notice where you are. Where does that tightness? Is it here? Is it in back? We're going to get to that later, okay? Other side, assess. This one's actually looser for me. Are you the same or are you tighter on one side? So it's actually better to be tight on both sides, like actually very tight, versus one side tight and then the other like loose, because now you're out of balance, right? Out of alignment, out of asymmetry. So equality is kind of the key here, but we're not really focused on the hips right now. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's just knead. So take your fingers, open them, and let's just knead like we're kneading some bread. Now you can feel a whole lot more doing this, right? So because your fingers are a lot more specific than this. All right, so again, if you find a spot, like I know Kaden had a little spot with the foam roll, if you just work in here, this is why we pay massage therapists. Generally speaking, you're not going to actually do this, most likely because you're not going to have the patience or the time. That's why we need to kind of invest in a massage therapist. So I personally schedule a massage 1 year out with the same lady every single month. And because I'm really bad at making appointments, And I feel pretty tore up when I'm in there every single time. And just got to find someone good who's going to actually work on you other side. But it's probably the best money you're going to spend, because especially if you're training a lot, there's a point in everybody's training where you're going to get injured. And what are you going to do when you get injured? Are you going to quit? Are you going to try to work through it? What are you going to do? You know, we can get better really quick with massage and everything I'm showing you. Generally speaking, if you have a little back twinge during a class or during a run, the average person will actually stop doing that, and they won't get it checked out. They'll kind of just stop moving, and then 3 weeks later, a month later, they go to the doctor. And if they just would have did the self-massage stuff, or went to a therapist, or went to an active release therapist, somebody, we could have been back working out the next day. That's kind of what happens with athletes. They have therapists on their team now. They're playing. Steph Curry will play, generally speaking, the next day after a little bit of a muscle spasm or something. But fitness people, they just stop and say, darn it, I'm getting old. But we're just not doing the right stuff. All right? Does everybody feel that? Okay, that's a way we can just get in there. All right, let's work our way up now. So we got our calves. Let's go to the second most important spot with the foam roll, and that is the side of the leg. So this was the number one reason foam rolling became popular back 20 years ago, I think, was the IT band. IT band is from here to here. So this IT band stabilizes the knee and the hip. Now, I actually don't do this as much as I used to. This would be like the one thing I would give a client, and I realized that it would never get loose. People would do this, and they would always be in pain. You guys in pain yet? This is probably the worst experience possible if you've never done this before. All right, and it does get a little better, but here's the catch. If you don't work your calves, this will never loosen up. This is what I found. So I have people that run into class late, and maybe or maybe you only have one, like 30 seconds you could do a foam rolling thing. Just do the calves. But if you have time, let's get the IT band as well. All right, so let's get from that knee to about halfway up, or quarter up. Okay, think of it as 3 different segments. And notice what I'm doing, guys. So there's lots of ways to do this. All right, keep going, though. So I'm taking the weight off. I have my hands and my foot, crossover, taking the weight off. I don't have to. I'm used to this. I can put all my weight on here, but the average person is not going to be able to tolerate that. All right? So I see a lot of faces here. I see people facing, and they're wearing a mask. I see their face frowning within the mask. It's pretty amazing. I see your teeth grinding within the mask. All right, so we don't want to grind. Notice what you're doing with your breath right now. You're stressed. Okay, how do we get out of stress? Breathe from the rib cage. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make it a little easier now. Let's just come down right here. All right, just do that. For those of you who need to, and we're just going to, let's just go right to left. Right to left, yep. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale. That feels a little bit better, right? Because all of our weight is not on our little IT band. Keep going. So now let's get a different spot. Let's just keep moving. So I find that a lot of folks, too, will actually be foam rolling, but they'll only do the same spot all the time. And that's great, but there's a lot of areas to hit. See what I'm doing right here? Crossover. The more you do this, Drew, remember, the easier it's going to be. You guys remember what I said about 3 to 5 days? If I do this 3 to 5 days in a row, 50% of my pain is going to go away in 5 days or so. Okay, let's go to a new spot. I'm going up. So now I'm about halfway up. See what I'm doing? And then there are softer rollers too. There you go. Do you look like you're getting eaten by an alligator or something over there, buddy? Come on. Nice. We're going to coordination here as well. Little toe taps. Nice. Okay, working our way up. I'm now at the kind of the higher point of my hip. All right, higher point of the hip. Let's go this way and that way. Little hip opener. Breathe. I'm on my elbow. Anthony's on his hand. This is fine. Any way you want to do it. But just know that you can kind of play with, like if I'm on my hands, I could probably take a little more weight off, right? Here, I think that's actually roughly the same. But just know this, by using your hands and your legs, I can manipulate the force to the actual area I'm hitting. All right? Other side. So that was the IT band, some different ways to do it. get the other side. So sometimes people do this stuff and they sweat because this is harder than running. You could be really good at running or whatever kind of exercise you do, but we're always tightening ourselves when we work out. Remember that. So the more you work out, the more we need to do self-massage, the more we need to stretch, the more calories we need. People make that mistake all the time. They eat less and work out more. Well, that's not going to work out very long. We need more water. We need some minerals. We need more electrolytes. So working out is actually something that's actually challenging to keep up, you know. It's actually easier not working out. You don't need as much water. You don't need as much food. You don't need as much massage. So if you're going to work out, you better do all the little things to help you recover. Slow, deep breaths. I'm working my way up, team. So again, we can do it this way, or you can go the side angle, how we did it before, or you can do both. Okay, I can use a softball in here as well. Kaden, you got a good spot? Remember, there's different parts of the side of the hip. I've already done the lower part, but most people skip that. So I'm all the way down right now, right above the knee. Most people skip this because it hurts too much. So I say, did you roll your IT band? They're like, yeah, but they're like all the way up here because it hurts to get down too low. But let's just notice where that spot is, right above the knee, where the knee attaches to that tendon on the side. That's the IT band, the beginning of it. Then we'll go to the one about quarter up. So think about this, 3 different areas. Low, mid, let's get mid right now. Okay, and then let's get all the way up. That's high hip. So if I say side of the hips, let's get the whole part of the hip. And you got to do it in segments, otherwise it looks like this when people roll. See what I'm doing in that? You're kind of going to miss something. I can do this because I've been doing it for a while, but most people can't do this very well. Okay, top of the hip. Everybody at the top of the hip, if you're not there, breathe. Don't forget, number 1, breathing. Anybody sweating? 3 out of 4 are sweating. The other one's still thinking about it. All right, good. All right, let's stand it up. Let's just do that check again. Let's see if your hips contribute to your inability to bend forward or not, or ability to bend forward more. Feet together. Let's check it out. Inhale, exhale. Hang out down here a little bit. I want you to know, like I do this, again, with young athletes especially, because we're so focused on stretching our hamstrings and things. And we haven't actually even stretched our hamstrings yet. You notice that? Relax. So we haven't stretched our hamstrings at all, like no downward dogs, none of this stuff. And most of us can bend forward more. Is that kind of weird if you kind of think about it logically? It's like, huh. Like we didn't just do this stretch, right? And hold it for 10 minutes. Remember the old days used to go like this? Some of you may remember that. So we don't do that stretch anymore. But my point is we're able to bend more freely because we just loosen things up. And we didn't even target the hamstrings yet, because I know a couple of you said earlier, oh, my hamstrings are tight. But do you really need to stretch your hamstrings and your hamstrings are tight? Maybe, maybe not. All right, so let's go to the next thing. All right, hip flexors. All right, hip flexors. So the hip flexors are, you know, arguably actually my second most important area to get. I just did the IT band too, but this right here, put your hands right here and feel these bones. So the bones on each side, okay? That's your anterior superior iliac spine right there, ASIS. And your muscles or your tendons come off the bones. They basically go like your quads, you know, your outer, you know, muscles, your glute medius, your maximus, and so on. Everything shoots off bones. So bones, attachments to bones are very tender. If you get in there or somebody gets in there, you go, ah, jump, right? So your hip flexors, like everybody's in this position all the time. Type, drive, okay? Bicycling, all of those things are going to engage your hip flexors, which is why I don't do a lot of scissor things and I don't do a lot of sit-ups, but we don't really want to get these tighter. That's not really the goal. We actually want to get this stronger and we want to loosen this up. So we really want to loosen up the front and we want to engage the back. So one of my mentors said, these are the show muscles and these are the go muscles, your butt and your hamstrings. Have you ever seen any like sprinters, like, you know, Olympic athletes? their butts and their hamstrings, right? That's your power, that's your engine. So these get in the way. So we need to loosen this up so we can fire our glutes in our hamstrings. If we can fire our glutes in our hamstrings, then the back pain generally goes away. All right, so remember, this attaches to this. So you may have back pain when you get up out of a chair, and you're like, oh, damn. But it's because of you're sitting like this too long. So that's why standing desks are good. All right, and standing more. So let's get going. So hip flexors. Let's get right underneath the bone on the left side. I'm doing the left right now. So, and again, for guys, we're just clearing some area there. You don't want to roll on anything important. All right. Get the boys out of the way. All right, so I'm just going right underneath and just do a little small movement. And again, what happens when it hurts? We go like this. Your eyes open up. Yeah, especially if you roll on something that's not rollable. Yes, you will be stressed. Great time to breathe. So yes, just kind of move around a little bit. So notice I'm right underneath that bone right now, and I'm just going to go change the position just slightly. Breathing. Inhale. Belly, rib cage. Don't forget. So don't forget to breathe from here. You can even put your hand there right now. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe out. How relaxed can you be while you endure pain? That's the real question. While you endure challenge. Can you stay relaxed during the quarantine? While watching our president talk, while watching various things during the media? Try to stay relaxed. It's not going to help the panic. It's only going to make you worse in reaction. You're going to react more. So notice I'm to my side now just a little bit. We kind of did that earlier, right? So just find those spots. Hip flexors. And again, you can use a softball. So again, foam roll's good, but I can't really get in very deep. So let's try it, and you may not want to try it. It just hurts more. All right, but just notice I just want you to notice what happens now, because I don't really feel a lot. I mean, I do that kind of a lot, but now I feel it a lot. I'm able to get more specific, and if you use a baseball, I can get more specific as well. You have somebody working on you, that person can get very specific. All right, keep going, everybody. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Now I said this, by doing stuff like this, it's really going to help, improve your yoga practice or whatever you do. Improve your running, improve your group fitness experience, whatever that is. Okay? But of course, you're not going to do all of these things probably right before. If you have that kind of time, that's great. But just kind of think about, we got to figure out, what do we really need? This is a real important one. I'm going a little longer today and explaining things, but I mean, it could be a pretty fast rhythm. You could get it all done probably in 10 minutes, the whole body. And the more you practice it, the more you're going to be able to flow from one area to the next. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Let's get the other side. So again, baseball, lacrosse ball. A lot of folks like lacrosse balls because they're small and they're still, rubber type material. So this guy right here. So we have all these things at the studio as well, at our facility. And if you do use them right now, of course, we have to wash them. So don't just throw them back in our basket. So we have them sitting by our door area, really, so people can kind of loosen up. But ideally, right now, get some of this stuff for your house because, just because of the state we're in with the quarantine and all. And also, we really need to do this a lot. So invest in a softball or a lacrosse ball, a foam roll. We're talking like a foam roll is that's $10 for this little foam roll. Golf ball. Find somebody to give you a golf ball. Go to a golf course if you don't want to pay for it. Go to some kind of range. Yes, there's golf balls everywhere. People throw these away. People give these away on Craigslist too. Find a lacrosse player that no longer plays lacrosse. Lacrosse balls are like $15, I think, or $10 or something like that. So, but people give this stuff away. Softballs can be free. So lacrosse balls can be free. Everybody find some spots? Good? All right. So this is a really important one, especially for lunges. Like people can't do lunges oftentimes because they can't open their hips up. Or even my daughter, some of you on this channel right now have seen my daughter lift her leg. Let's try this real quick. This would have been a good assessment to do prior. So just do this. So let's take your kneecaps off the ground and let's bring your leg up. Okay? The chiropractor will often have you do this when you first come in. They'll be like, oh, one leg lifts higher than the other. Okay, and then he'll adjust you, generally speaking, if you've been to a chiropractor. But oftentimes the chiropractor's not loosening things, they're just adjusting. And it does change, but notice what that feels like. Now bring this up. Okay, so some people cannot lift their thighs off the ground. I'm looking in here at everybody. So I have pretty good motion, but most people do not. And if you can't do this, come on down, Drew, like this. Yeah, if you can't do this, it's your hip flexors that are getting in the way. All right, hip flexors and quads. So we just did the hip flexors. Now let's get the quads. All right, let's roll here. Quads are here. Knees to the bone. Knees to the bone. Okay, we got upper. Now let's get it in segments. Let's get from the knee to the middle thigh. Inhaling, exhaling, breathing. There you go. So this is the quads. All right. We still have to get work on our lats. Lats are a big piece of this as well, especially for baseball players and people with shoulder issues. Okay, so we'll do this quickly. So let's work our way up. All right, so I started from knee to mid. Now I'm going from mid to up. Breathe, Kaden, breathe. Notice what happens when you're stressed. Notice what happens when you're stressed doing the foam roll. Notice what happens when you stress up the bat. Same thing, breathe. All the same, guys. Notice these different things in our life. It's all about awareness, okay? All right, so next, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. I'm gonna go to groin. So Linda was saying her groin's been tight from all of our hip opening stretches. So that's interesting, right? We can get tighter from stretching. Can. So I'm going like this now. So this is a really good one. I've had a lot of knee issues where this has really alleviated the knee issue. All right. So I got this thing, this foam roll, right above my knee here on the inside, okay? Now, let's just go ahead and extend. This is not usually not really that comfortable, right? My massage therapist puts her hand here and drives the roll into my knee. So you can make it harder if you wanted to. Breathe. Inhale. How's that feel, Kaden? Yep. Now bring it all the way out, like 90. So my hip's up at 90 degrees. Yep. And I can be on my stomach still. See that? So come on your stomach. Yep. Hard to get in that position. There you go. Yep. And bring it a little lower, Kaden. We're going to get up there in a moment. I just want to get that piece, that inside of the quad. You know what I'm talking about? This little teardrop. You see my knee right here? That's called the vastus medialis. Vastus medialis. Some people don't have that muscle. That's a problem in itself. Like on my right side, the muscle isn't as strong as the other side. So I'm working on that. All right. For speed, just go ahead and bring it up a little bit. I'm going to the mid part now. So mid part of the inner thigh. So if I have trouble with, say, side lunges or a butterfly stretch, for example, this would be a good one to hit up. Or maybe you got some knee pain. The more it hurts, the more we need to do this stuff. Inhale, exhale. If it doesn't hurt, just take note. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of things that hurt, right? Inhale, exhale. Okay, get the upper groin. I'm pretty much right up in there right now. All right, we got it. Same thing. So most of you should probably find it doesn't hurt as bad. Is that true? Yeah, this is not as bad for me. I can kind of get in a little bit better though. I think kind of doing a little side roll here. You just got to play on this thing. Don't be afraid to just explore the foam roll, explore different tools. Other side, let's do it. All right. So I do have videos on all of these too on YouTube, and our coaching page I did these like 15 years ago. I may have a slightly different explanation now because I've been doing this a lot more now, but inhale, but the movement's the same. Inhale, exhale. So home exercise piece of equipment, this is a must. Just a little foam roll. Again, you don't need the big 6x36 one, but I think this is 6x6, I believe, these little guys. You don't need the treads. I think it's about $11 to $14, something like that. Bend and extend. Okay. Get in there a little deeper now. Go mid. And I can actually add a little roll. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm extending and then I'm rolling. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. There we go. How are we doing, Anthony? We still sweating? Anybody sweating still? Yeah, some people, it's funny. I remember I used to do back when I did a lot of one-on-one training, I would spend our first hour doing this with everybody, and just people would be like, this is the worst session ever. I'm like, yeah, every other session we do is going to be easier. Just do this on your own. All right, let's get upper. Now I'm going to roll side to side. All right, so that is the groin. So I'm kind of giving you the order of what I think is most important as well. Like I said, I know that people aren't going to do all these, but think about where am I hurting right now? The more it hurts, the more we need to focus on it. Okay, so that's the inner thigh. All right, let's just sit on it real quick. I didn't go over that. So quick sit, I'm going to kind of speed up the process now. Sit on your left glute, not the right, not both. So this would be both right here, centered. Turn to the left a little bit. Inhale, exhale. Keep your breathing up, guys. Now I'm on my left glute. Again, this is kind of an assessment as well. Take your left and put it on top of your right, if you can. Yep. If you want to go deeper, let's add a sit on a softball or lacrosse ball instead, or a baseball, and try to open up this knee. Try to keep that open. Find those spots. If it doesn't hurt, move around a little bit. Go on your elbow. Go to the left, go to the right. Breathe. See you holding that breath, Kaden. Come on. Let it go. Yes. Most of all, I want you aware that you're holding your breath. So in the future, whatever the stress is in your life, you'll notice yourself holding your breath, or you're anxious or you're overwhelmed. Just take a deep breath. Okay? Well, you can do that more later. We'll go to the other side. All right, cross over. I'm going to get the softball here for my right side. So I don't really feel a whole lot here. I'm going to find those spots again. See what I'm doing right here? I'm just kind of looking around like, okay, that's a good spot. Moving around, survey the scene. Oh, there's a good spot. And now I'm going to cross that leg over. Yep. And I'm on the right glute. So cross the right foot over the left. Anthony, the other foot. Yes. So if I'm on the right side, I'm crossing the right foot over the left. If I'm on the left side, I'll go left over right. Yes. Inhale, exhale. Again, I can do this on the elbows. You can see I just go do a little bit of movement here. You notice how I can get a little more specific than you guys with the foam roll? Yeah, I can get in there really good. All right. Those are the hips. All right. So let's stand up again. All right. Let's check it out. What happens when the hips are loose? Just feel yourself right there. Should feel a little more agile, ready for anything. Okay, let's check it out. Feet together. Good. Let's see where you guys are. Let it go. Notice what that feels like. Again, we still have not stretched the hamstrings. But can you go lower? What do you think, Anthony? He's touching. All right. What do you think, Kaden? Can you feel a little bit lower? So come on up. So this is kind of my argument for like, do we really need to even stretch? I don't know. So I would rather personally spend more time on self-massage than doing stretching, but that's just me. Lori may have a different opinion, who teaches our yoga class. All right, let's do a couple more things. So I really don't do a lot of stretching. I do need to do more. I'm not saying not to do it, but let's get the low back now. But I just think in terms of importance, more long-lasting change will come from massage than stretching. All right, so I'm on the low back. So the one thing I see people do, which like twice a year, someone will say, I hurt my back. And they'll say, how'd you do that? And they'll say, well, I was foam rolling. Twice a year, I used to hear that. And that would happen because people would do this. It was the same thing. Some people's spine just are not meant to do that, okay? So just be careful of that. So, but we can still get the low back. I'm just going on one side of it. See what I'm doing? So one side of the muscles on the outside of the spine, and breathe, okay? But oftentimes, here's what I tell folks. So Drew, you've had some back issues, right, lately? Or hips? What has it been? Okay. Okay, so generally speaking, wherever we have pain is not the problem. Just always remember that. So People have heard me say that who I've worked on. Let's go the other side. It's generally something down the chain. Again, the feet, the calves, the IT band, the quads, the hip flexors. So if you have back pain, the back's pretty durable, you know. People get back pain, but maybe they sneeze. Do you think the sneeze really caused the herniation? Probably not. You know, it's not that one thing you did generally. That's just the burst, right? So low back area on the outside of the spine. Again, I don't spend a lot of time here, even though I do have a little bit of back pain lately, but this is the least of my importance. Okay, but let's work on up a little bit. So we're gonna get to like, this is usually the bigger problem for folks with back pain. It's that we tend to sit a lot as well, and our head's rounded, our forward, our shoulders are rounded, and we're kind of stuck in this position here. And then there was somebody yesterday I was talking to. She had shoulder surgery. She can't go like this. So if I have bad posture, it's going to be even harder to go like this because I really want to be able to extend my spine. So let's all do that real quick. It's like that cat-cow seated. If you have trouble extending out of this position, and you don't have to put your hands there or whatever, just we need to be able to extend. And this is the key to kind of, you know, a tennis swing or a baseball swing or throwing a baseball. It's your upper mid back. So the worst thing we could do is be here, bad posture, forward head. That's why sitting is the worst thing you could do. So just notice how uncomfortable it is to sit tall and lengthened. Everybody kind of notice this is just, you're not going to be able to do this very long, right? Pretty tough. That's why standing is easier on your spine, and we need to be aware of our alignment. So let's work out of the curve now. Let's work in extension, and we can do that with the roll. So let's get these upper mid back area. We're going to finish with this stuff here. Find those tender spots. So I can just roll the upper mid back. Remember, I said you got to be careful with the low back. I'm supporting my head here. My butt is up. I'm using my feet, if you can see. I'm using my feet to help me go up and down. Now, there's going to be a spot that's pretty tight. Does everybody have a tight spot? All right, good. Drop your butt. So let's hang out there for a second and work on what it's called thoracic extension. Extend over the roll. Inhale up. Notice my butt is on the ground. Exhale down. So what I'm doing here is I'm extending the upper mid back and basically getting myself to have motion where I don't normally, right? I'm normally going forward when I'm sitting in bad posture, but now I'm actually taking the spine backwards. If you notice my head, I'm able to go down. I have pretty good motion here. But if you look at baseball players who have shoulder issues or elbow issues, they probably cannot do this. And that's because they don't have the motion in their spine and their elbow or shoulder are working harder. Inhale down, exhale up. So they're not going to be able to rotate from their spine, so the elbow shoulder will take abuse. Same with tennis, golf. If you can't move your spine, your limbs are going to take the abuse and you're going to have problems, pain, surgery. Inhale, exhale. Now hang out down here. Can you see what I'm doing? Just hanging. And now we just did flexion extension. My butt is on the ground. I'm not going to let my foam roll move, and I'm going to rotate. So this is now mobility of the thoracic spine. Actually, we're working on mobility above the foam roll. Wherever you place the foam roll is where you're getting motion. Breathe. So if you need to, if your body is just not capable of going down over the roll, we could put a pillow under our head and just do this rotation. So now watch me real quick. So I'm going to come up slowly so you don't get dizzy. And I'm going to move this foam roll down just a bit. See what I did? Just moved it in a different area. So there's about 3 spots that you get on the upper mid back. And we're just going to repeat that. Up and down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again, when you breathe, you're going to get more out of the exercise or the movement. I'm just going to do a few on that side, and then I'm going to go to rotation. So I'm always coupling flexion, extension, and rotation to follow. How's that feel, guys? So Katie, today, notice how you feel. You should be able to, rotate a lot easier. It should be easier on your elbow and shoulder to throw. Follow through should be better. Okay, let's go to a new spot. So watch what I'm doing with my feet. I'm just using my feet to bring the foam roll down. So I'm usually starting up and I work my way down. Okay, couple down, back extension, inhale up, exhale down. Ah, good. Deep breath in, exhale. So again, this is mobility work, guys. This is specific mobility work for the thoracic spine, which again, we can hit a little bit with like cat-cows and some other rotational twists and things, but this is going to be very specific to the segment you're trying to hit. All right, rotate right, rotate left. So this is a very specific warm-up. So a non-specific warm-up would be, jogging in place or, really anything else. So this is very specific to your needs when you take out a foam roll or using self-massage. So do your specific warm-up with your massage tools and then go to the workout. All right, let's get the lats. Right here, I'm in the same position. I don't need to move much. The lats are here, swimmer muscles. Okay, armpit area, breathe. All right, let's get that area. So this is for those of you with shoulder issues and back issues. Your lats are responsible for stabilizing your shoulder and your spine. Okay, you feel that, guys? So this is a really good one for the baseball players. Drew, Caden. So we're going to reach up. I'm just going to roll with the tissue. It kind of goes up and down. But I could also go like this, adding a rotational component. Breathe. There's really no wrong thing you can do for the most part, unless you do that low back thing I told you not to do earlier. Open and close, breathing while you do it. So again, we're getting mobility, spinal mobility, shoulder mobility on both shoulders, right? I'm using this shoulder, that's going up and down, but I'm also working this other side. And notice what I'm doing. I just went down a little bit, more towards that rib cage. Same thing, rotate. That's one way to do it. You can go up and down. These muscles, I'm kind of getting low now. These are actually my breathing muscles as well. Your rib cage area, all in there. That will also help you take deeper breaths. Okay, get the back of the shoulder. I can do rotations with my arm. Check this out. Okay, I can rotate, internal rotation, external rotation. I'm on my shoulder right now. You feel that one? So right on top of the shoulder, then rotate down, rotate up with the thumb. Okay, can even get the tricep here. I'm kind of on my arm now, can do that. Other side, and we'll finish up. And we'll be done for our day. All right, let's check it out. So we'll get the lat. So the lats are these, again, our pulling muscles, our swimming muscles. If you ever notice a swimmer like Michael Phelps and those Olympians, they have really big lats and back muscles, right? Those are going to get tight too. So we got to have range of motion. If I'm going to do a butterfly thing, right? I got to have that range of motion in my shoulder to do that. And I can't keep swimming all day. I'm going to have to do some massage work or some kind of mobility work. Breathe. Ah, good. Reach up. So as I'm reaching, can you see that my fingers are reaching, getting that stretch? Maybe add that right to left component again. Whatever feels good, everybody. Inhale, exhale. This may not actually feel good, but does this feel good to anybody? It's kind of like a good pain at the same time, right? What do you think, Drew? Yeah. Come on. Couple more, everybody. Get that shoulder. So this is really important if you have any shoulder issues. Inhale. Work within your body's means. Listen to your body. Inhale, exhale. Notice the hold of the breath. Ah, good. Find a new spot. Last thing. Just a new area here. So again, you may be doing that. Maybe you hopefully start doing some more foam rolling as part of your life. Just remember, mix it up. Don't do the same spot all the time. You will get to a point where you don't feel this anymore if you do the same spot all the time, but we use different tools, different foam rolls, different baseball, softball, things like that. I will definitely, keep challenging you and keep working different areas. All righty. Let's go ahead and come up slowly. Let's do one final test. Should feel like you got a little workout in. All right. Let's go feet together. Let's check it out. All right. Come on down. Oh, goodness. All right. What do you think, Anthony? Let your head fall now. Let your head fall. Yep. Let your head fall, everybody. Hang out down there for a second. Take a deep breath in. Belly rib cage expands. On the exhale, draw the belly in. Let your head fall even more. Nice. Inhale, deep breath in. And exhale. All right. I think we're good, guys. Okay. I think we mastered the foam roll, some self-massage stuff. So hopefully those of you that hung out with me